Good morning and happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my two co-hosts, Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler and Kelly from NOFO Endless Summer, we hop on every Friday live on Instagram and chat about everything North Fork. This week I've been on a road trip and I have traveled through every state, I think, down the East Coast, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, South Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina. Made a detour into Charleston for a few days.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Georgia, and now I am in sunny Florida. I'm so excited.
Yay!
The sun is shining. It's warm, although I understand it's also warm on the North Fork.
Yeah, but it's not bathing suit weather. Is it bathing suit
Well,
weather
yeah.
where you are? Yeah.
Totally bathing suit. I want to cover up first thing in the morning. I'm like, that's my dress for the day.
Yes.
I'm good to go. Yeah. But
I
can
recognize that cover up.
But I can understand now why snowbirds make the trek every year and just, I'm out of there,
Yeah.
So it's good to get a glimpse of it for a week. How are you? I feel like we've missed you and Tilly on the show so much.
I know. Well, we are doing better. Tilly was in the hospital last week. She had the RSV that's going around, but she's doing much better. I don't know if you can see her here.
Yes, there she is. Hi, baby girl.
Say hi, Tills.
Is she going to do her famous wave? Because I know she just learned that.
Can you do the wave? Can you do the wave?
Hi, Tilly.
She might wave. She might wave later. She
When
started waving like this to people. I'm feeling sick now, which I'm just thankful it's Friday. And I plan to do absolutely nothing all weekend long. I mean, aside from mothering, but
that's a given. That's a 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
You just mean along with that, you plan to do that. That's quite rare for you, Tracy. First of all, for
I
you
know.
to say that. Second of all, for you to do it.
I know. Well, we'll see if I keep my promise. I keep looking around the house at things I want to organize, and I'm like, do not do that this weekend.
Well, there's going to be the rest of the time to do that. I think really given that you had such a traumatic week with her, and given that your reserves are low, definitely you should take the weekend off. And Monday is a good start,
I know. I need to do that.
Good morning,
for sure.
Kelly. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. My kids have been homesick from school for the past 3 days, so we are just running on all cylinders. Not all cylinders. Yeah.
I feel like there's so many different things going on, right? First, it used to be all you could get was COVID. That's it. That's all you cared about. Now, I know this because I feel like I had a version of, it wasn't COVID. It was either the flu or this RSV or just a severe cold. I have no idea. So before I head out on this road trip, I was feeling sick myself, and I wasn't sure if I'd make it in the car, but we delayed it a couple of days, and I'm good now.
What state are you in now? Are you in Florida?
Oh, I made it all the way to sunny Florida.
Woohoo!
I feel like I passed every state, and it was kind of cool, and tried to experience. Yesterday we had lunch in Savannah because we were wondering if on the way back we'll stop a day or two. I don't know yet. Our way back is flexible. I feel like this is the first time in my life we've had the time to just do a road trip. Have either of you ever done a road trip?
Never.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we did. We drove down to Florida during COVID because the kids wanted to go down there, but I refused to fly. So we drove all the way down to Florida and back.
And so how was it?
Well, we didn't take the nice long trip like you did. We did it all in, we took one night where we slept at like 2 a.m. at a hotel and powered through. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We might do that. We might do that in the return, but then I'm thinking, why? I mean, my husband had some time off, which is why we were able to do the trip. So we did 2 stops. And one of the things we did, which I really loved, is we stayed 3 days in Charleston. Oh my God. When they say Southern charm, it really is charming. So it also broke down the journey. So that was great,
Yeah. I love the architecture in Charleston. It's just gorgeous.
Beautiful. We walked so much, all the houses, just there's a church everywhere you look. You look left, you look right, there's a church, and so much history. It was beautiful. And then just before we head off, I'm going to post some pictures. We went to Carabella, from Carol Chalk Art, whatever. I was chatting with her, and she mentioned that I should definitely go. It's a tree called Angel Oak, and it's 400 years old, and it's this giant live oak. I mean, its branches are just everywhere on the ground, like, and then going back up. It was just so soothing and so earthy to 400 years, you know?
Wow.
I'll post a picture of the giant tree. So when people say, "What'd you do on your road trip?" I'll be like, "I stopped and I saw a tree." I have a thing for trees. I have a thing for trees anyway. My friend that I walk with, Stacy, who owns the Harvested, every time we walk, she's like, "I always stop and take pictures of dead trees." I don't know what it is about dead trees, but I'm like, it's beautiful.
Have you seen good sunsets yet?
Say that again, Kelly.
Any good sunsets yet?
We got here really late last night, so we saw it on the road, but we couldn't pull over. But where I'm staying with my family's home, so where they live is right near the water. Well, not the ocean water, but like I keep looking for alligators to pop out. But the sun does set somewhere near here on the water, so I'm gonna, tonight, hopefully tonight. I've been missing the North Fork sunsets. Apparently, it's great weather there and beautiful sunsets.
Yeah,
it is. It has been really beautiful.
70, right?
Yeah, it's been really gorgeous.
Yeah. Don't mind my children coughing in the background, like somebody's in like a coughing fit over there.
There's a lot going around. There's a lot going on. I hope they have the 24-hour thing so they bounce right back, because otherwise it's an 8 or 10 day.
Our third day in, and they're on 2 different sicknesses. I don't know what's going on.
Oh boy.
So then they might have the 8 and 10 day thing. So you still got a few days to go.
I want to tell you a secret. We're going to Disney next week, so I hope they're not.
Oh, they don't know?
They don't know.
When are you? Well, I guess I'll miss you because I'll be starting my road trip next week, and you'll be coming here for the
12th. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in some state by then. I don't know which state by then, depending on where my drive progresses. So we'll cross each other. But that's how exciting for the kids. Disney is so awesome. We're near Tampa, so we can drive to Orlando. But right now, it's not calling my name. I think I'm here for a vacation, because when you go to Disney, you need a vacation after.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We went last year too, and I said, like, no more. We're not going again. And I don't know how we ended up going again, but it's one of those things that like, people do.
Well, when you have young kids, it's the best place to be. They're happy. We're happy. They really entertain everybody. Yeah,
for sure. And they're only little for so long, so you have to,
Although I must say,
I feel vacation.
I know plenty of adults that are still Disney crazy, so they may never grow out of it.
True. You never know. I saw that Mary hopped on, but I don't know if she's able to request to join. Mary, if you're listening, you have to request to join. So maybe
let me see if I can find her.
Can you do that?
Okay, I just invited her. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
Yeah, so like sometimes I can, it depends, but let's see if it works. But that's exciting. I hope.
Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
How is everybody?
Hi.
You look like you're sitting in sunshine over there.
I'm trying to get my D in. I should have my arms exposed. How is everybody?
Good. Good morning.
I was listening to your trip. So Tampa, that's so fun.
We just got, like I said, we got here late last night. We took our slow time getting here. It's beautiful. But every state was beautiful, and I'm such a foodie, even though there's so many things I can't eat right now. Between eating the boiled peanuts and shrimp and grits and just everything, and fried okra and the fried green tomatoes, I feel like I've just been on a foodie. I need not intermittent fasting. I need like a 4-day fast at this point.
Can I ruin part of your time?
Go ahead.
A dear friend of mine has a restaurant in Seminole Heights down there called the Rooster and the Till, and it is absolutely delicious. They were nominated for one of the stars recently. They're delicious.
Oh my God.
And the food is amazing.
Every time I post a story, people are sending me recommendations. I should go here. Mariah from NOFO Live sent me so many different, which I did hit up a couple. And then remember we had the guest Deirdre from the charter yacht. She messaged me about a restaurant in Charleston. I'm like, I can only eat so much. But
you're gonna have to go out for every meal at this rate.
And on a road trip, I can't really take leisurely lunch stops, but that's what we've been doing. And roadside stands, but it's great. Anyway, enough about my road trip. Let's talk about you, Mary.
Oh. Yeah. I have stage fright, ladies, but here we go.
It's all right.
There's no stage fright. It's us. There's only us three.
Well, I mean, part of my story is that I did live in Tampa. This is actually where I'm at now in the North Fork is my 27th address. So I've lived up and down the East Coast, up and down the West Coast. I was on the West Coast for 20 years and came back to be close. And they're all here, at least up island a little bit of the way. So I'll get to the point. In 2006, when I was living in Portland, working in LA, boyfriend was in San Francisco, and nutrition school was in New York City, I would fly somewhere else every weekend. So I became a holistic wellness counselor in 2006. And it wasn't because I had this idea that I wanted to teach other people necessarily, but I am a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was 11 at North Shore University, if anybody knows that, in Stony Brook. And I was at a lot of different places out here. And somewhere along the way, I realized that food was a bigger part of taking care of myself. I mean, aside from the registered dietitians, who I usually stump when I ask questions. I was like, well, this doesn't feel right. At 16 years old, I asked our dietitian, why are you recommending that I eat between 9 and 11 servings of grains when that's the worst thing for me and I have to chase my sugar all day? And look, my A1C is a 9 because I'm eating all this other crap. So I figured out pretty early that something wasn't right. And then I had the opportunity while I was traveling to go to school and have that paid for because I get a flight every weekend. Long story short, I've been certified wellness counselor since 2006. And since then, I've been on my own healing journey, both spiritual and physical. I've done a lot of work with shaman. I've done the psychotherapy, AEDP work. I've sat with a lot of different people, a lot of different healers. And one of the things that stood out the most to me in like all of my journey was that it's pretty easy to recommend to someone what to do with their diet or maybe how to live better or how to change their lifestyle. But what I noticed is that so many people are resistant, right? I mean, they might be excited at first, but then something happens and some energy comes in and they're just like, I'm fine. I'm just like everyone else. It's okay. I don't need special attention. And that's the inner voice. So further on down in my journey within the last, probably I'd say 6 or 7 years now, I realized that I myself had this inner voice that tells me, no, we're not going to do what's best for us. We're going to do something else because it's easier and because blah, blah, blah. And through my own practice, sorry, my dog is eating my hand right now. Through my own, I realized that I have to understand where that voice comes from and the wiring that it's attached to. And that wiring happens when we're kids. So the way that we behave as adults, whether it is how we treat ourselves and what we eat and our lifestyle, or our relationships with other people, our relationship with ourselves. So I went from doing mostly wellness counseling, focusing on food and lifestyle, to breath work, which I know it's like, oh, breath work's great. I do pranayama. I go to yoga. It's like, that's not the same thing. It's a little bit different. So in yoga, I'll explain the difference. In yoga, we do, and I'm also a trained yoga teacher, we do a lot of different types of breath to either calm the body down, relax the nervous system, energize us. Like there's a million different things you can do. And I love that. And that's amazing. Breath work in combination with meditation is super helpful. That all in their voice as well. But the breath work that I hold space for is more of a cathartic psychedelic experience. So you're not taking anything, you're not drinking anything, you're literally just following the rhythm of this sort of breath, and you're switching up the oxygen, which most of it goes more towards the hypothalamus as opposed to the frontal cortex, which is where our ego mind lives. So it actually allows you to get into your body, and forcibly is not the right word, but because you're purposely shutting the mind off a little bit, like telling your brain to take a back seat, you are getting into your body, you are listening. You might still experience some movements where you're still fighting it, but at the end of the day, like it's the inner voice that controls everything that we do. Okay, some people say we have like a little angel on our shoulder, others say we have, you know, the devil and the angel, and they whisper in our ear. It's all of our inner voice, and a lot of that negativity comes from our own experiences and how we haven't been able to sort of metabolize that. So everything that happens to us is energy. There's an emotion connected to everything that happens to us. But because we're in this society where it's go, 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 keep going, be strong, you know, we take a lot of that energy and we bury it in the body, and that creates illness and unwellness. So I'm sticking more to the breath work, at least for now. I still offer classes on weight management and understanding food, also on natural beauty. But my focus lately has been on the breath, because I feel like if you can help somebody change that inner dialogue, then they can make better decisions for themselves. They will feel better because they feel better from the inside out. That makes sense.
Mary, I have some questions for you. For somebody who literally knows, I am like the anti, my husband does yoga, like I am like the anti-meditation, I like always just say, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to get out of my own head. I don't have time to sit down. I don't have time to do the 9,000 other things that I need to do. So that's like always the bottom of my list. What do you recommend for somebody who has this like so like busy, can't get into it lifestyle? What's the smallest thing that you can do to start off?
To sit still for 5 minutes.
Just sit for 5
Just
minutes.
to sit undistracted for 5 minutes and to recognize how active your mind is. Because when you tell yourself, and this happens in my breathwork sessions as well, when you tell yourself, I don't have time, I can't do this, like that's your mind fighting it. So when you're in session with me, I see people getting tetany. They close up their fists because they don't want to experience what the heart has to say, so they clench. And that's another egoic response. Not that we're ego driven. I don't want to confuse the two. Ego does save us. I'm a type 1 diabetic. If it wasn't for my ego, I would not be here. Get out of bed. You're not going with this. I mean, it serves its purpose. It's just overactive. So you have to be able to like tell yourself, I'm doing it for me. Put yourself first. I know we have families. I have a 10-year-old daughter. I have a husband and several pets, and I have a huge family that I am safely about 40 minutes away from. I love them dearly, but it's a lot. I have to wear a helmet to go in sometimes. But it's a lot. So you have to put yourself first. Like you absolutely have to. If you don't, everything else will suffer, right? I learned, you know, through my own journey again, like I wish I had started my healing journey before I became a mom, because then I would have been more open. I wouldn't have felt like I was always doing it wrong. You know, I was consciously in my head about having a baby. You know, I mean, I loved her obviously, and she's she's an amazing child, but I remember feeling so in my head and not as much here as I should have been, because there's a lot that blocks that, you know, so put yourself first to get your own healing. And even if it's 5 minutes a day, it's just to calm you down and have you sit and listen. Because the purpose of meditation, not only to clear the mind, but the purpose of meditation and the practices that I do as well is to like listen to the inner voice, because it knows everything. Your intuition is powerful. You just got to stop forcing yourself not to listen to it. And that's what we do, sort of.
So Mary, in practical terms, if someone is listening to this and they're like, yes, 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 all of this, yes, how do they engage with you? What exactly would happen if I pick up the phone and say, I saw your NOFO live, I want in, what's next?
Okay, so I do have standing sessions at Sensei Hot Yoga in Wading River. You guys know Ina. Yes. She's a dear friend. I hold sessions there the second Thursday of the month. I've been at Karuna. I'll probably end up going back to Karuna. I'm somewhere tonight in Rocky Point.
For people who don't know, Karuna is in Greenport.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And it's wonderful. Arthur's amazing. I love the staff there. I haven't been in a few weeks for the same reasons. I got this, I got that. I can't take off. I got it. Like, my fault too. Like, none of us are perfect, right?
Is
but it's
a
still.
session one-on-one or is a session like a class? Like a
So
yoga?
I do one-on-ones as well. I've done a few online in the last few months that have been great, but I kind of like, if I have my own preference, it's more economical to be in session, in a group session. But I also like to be with people in person because when somebody gets locked up or if their feet, get tight, because again, like it's the mind fighting the body, I get to like help them move some of that energy physically by guiding it, by grabbing a foot or grabbing a hand or massaging and helping them open up. Because a lot of people will not let what needs to come through because the mind doesn't want it to. So I like being in person. I feel like it's a better experience.
And when is your? I'm showing up at Soul Intention.
It's next
Tracy,
Thursday,
maybe
so
I need to go with you.
it's the second Thursday of the month.
Okay.
At Sunset at 7:00. It's every second Thursday, and we'll probably add more at some point. We fluctuate between 8 and 10 people, which is perfect. A little bit larger is great too. Too big gets I can't help people individually, but the energy of the room when people get together and they're all there for a healing ceremony, at least in their mind, if they're like, okay, I'm doing something for myself, a lot more comes forward, and you're supported by the people around you.
Yeah.
Because you are
I love what you're saying, Mary, because there's so much information out there and people know what's healthy for them or what are the things they should be doing. But like you said at the top of the conversation, there's so many barriers that we all hang on to, whether it's whether it's I'm too busy or whether you're self-sabotaging for whatever reason, or you're just unwilling to take that leap out of fear. So it sounds to me like you're really helping people break down their inner barriers, whatever they may be, so that they can go ahead and do what they know they should be doing anyway.
Yes. And just to clarify too, so people always look at me like, oh no, it's not me. It's like, no, you're your own healer. You're the one that gets in there and does the breath. I have no idea what's going on in your mind. I don't know what's going on in your heart. I can see where your body is getting locked up and I can help guide you that way physically. But your healing essence is all you. Like for everything that you break through, it's always the person that's doing the breathing. So I'm considered, I'm a certified breathwork healer, but the person doing the healing is the one that's doing the breathing. I'm just guiding. So, and again, like, I don't know what's going on in your minds.
Do you have a website where people can learn more about what you do?
Yeah, it's marytonic.com.
Okay.
I'm an elixir. I offer a lot.
But that the answers are really inside us. And I guess, when you were talking about even what you were recommending to Kelly, where if you just sit quietly for 5 minutes, you just allow the space for those answers to come through. Otherwise, we're just throwing our thoughts on top of the answers already there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love what you're doing.
I'm going to try this, Mary. I'm going to try.
I know. I got to meet
ever...
Kelly in person. I was so excited. We were together a couple weeks ago.
I've never in my 37 years wait, how old am I? I'm 36. In my 36 years, I'm anticipating. In my 36 years, have I ever sat quietly for 5 minutes? I don't think.
I'm from the South Shore, town of Babylon, one of the hamlets. Like I grew up there. It was always like da 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 da, and I lived in the city, and I just didn't know how to calm my mind down. I think my trip 20 years to the West Coast did me good in that regard, because like I had to calm down.
Yeah. My sister lives in San Francisco, and like there was change in her from when she lived in New York City and then she went and lived there. When she comes back, it's like almost like you're a different person.
I lived in San Francisco too, and the way I ended up on the West Coast is I was living in New York City. I was writing. I wanted to be a rock star. That's a whole nother lifespan. And I went to Portland to write for a couple of months, and then 9/11 happened in the middle. So I was in Portland for 7 years, but the same thing happened to me. I went from New York City to Portland, and then I'd come home to visit my family and be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm calm." Like, because there's so much outside stimulus, you know what I mean? So to shut everything on, granted, like I know it's hard to make everything quiet, but just for 5 minutes, even if it's just first thing in the morning, you get up before everybody else does, just to sit quiet. I have to get up before my kid.
I think the work that you do is very important because I can relate it to my own experience. You know, anyone who follows me knows that I'm a huge proponent of meditation, and meditation has saved my life through sobriety. And I used to do it every single day. And then I had a baby, and I'm a single mom, and I'm trying to provide for us, and everything's, you know, it's just really intense right now. And I keep reminding myself, like, it's a time to figure it out. It's all gonna settle, right?
Yeah.
But I'm literally sitting here going, like, when was the last time you meditated, Tracy? And I'm looking outside, it's gorgeous, and I'm like,
I know.
as soon as we're off this, I'm going to the beach, and I'm gonna sit for 5 minutes, and I'm gonna breathe. So thank you for that reminder. But you're right, it's like all in here are the blockers, you know? It's like, I don't have time for this. And I'm someone who did it every single day, and I'm
amazing. I applaud you because it's not easy.
You know?
Have you tried the like a Headspace app? Because you can literally do 5 minutes. Okay, it's helpful.
I used to do Insight Timer every morning, even before I got out of bed. And I'm a big proponent of 4-4-8. You know, like in for 4, hold for 4.
Yes.
Even if you're just like in the middle of your day, just stop and do it, and it takes 5 minutes, but still, even with that, it's like your brain gets in the way and blocks you from these things that will do wonders for your body, but yet you still let these other things take precedent.
Or you make a bad choice, right? So I'm also a celiac and a diabetic, and like I'll be out in a social environment and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna have it, and then hours later I'm just like, you know, it's like, because you want to engage with what's around you, and like you forget, like you have to stand in your integrity and like decide I'm not going to do that, and it's not easy. I fail all the time, you know. I'm always failing, but it's like it reminds me I'm human. I'm still healing myself. I'm still dealing with my own mind, so it's always a work in progress.
But it's how quickly you can come back to your center, right? One of the things I love about North Fork is automatically just the scenery around us brings me to a calm space. When I'm driving, I'm at a farm, and next thing I know, a smile is spreading on my face, and then I see a barn, and I'm like, oh, look, barn. But I can't help but just feel that calmness when, I'm driving around the neighborhood. And then
it's Mother Nature.
Yeah, so I'm glad that
there's definitely something that washes over you when you drive to the North Fork. Like it's like this, this calmness or whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's a perfect segue into our, 5 and 5. So, Mary, if you were going to take us to lunch or dinner, where would you choose to take us out on the North Fork?
Oh, there's so many variables here. Okay, if it was really quick and like, all right, we're doing this because we're going here, I would take you to the Give Room to grab a smoothie. And then if we were going to dinner, I might plan that out a little bit. I go to Frisky Oyster, or if we had time, the Cheekwit, right? So something beautiful. I mean, there's beautiful spots everywhere, but I guess my husband and our go-to is probably the Frisky Oyster for dinner when we have a date night, because it's hard to find a sitter here. That's where we go.
I love it.
The smoothie is a great choice. I'm craving one now already.
Planning your smoothie in your head. Mary, what's your favorite farm stand to frequent?
Oh, that's a dead giveaway because I belong to the CSA at Sang Lee. And I love, I mean, there's so many wonderful farms here. It's one of the reasons why I love being out here. I think farmers are the most important people in our lives that go unnoticed a lot. But yeah, so Sang Lee is where I get my CSA from. Oregon Road again. I mean, they're all great. KK, you can't go wrong. We're so lucky. We're so lucky.
We are so lucky.
So lucky.
Yeah.
And now,
so do you catch sunrises? Are you an early morning person, or do you find your
a few times? A few times. My favorite place to catch a sunrise, if I make it, is on our boat on the Peconic Bay. If you can catch that, like in the summertime, or at the New Suffolk Beach. Like that's the only place I've gone to on foot because I'm not a morning person either. I'm still puffy from the morning. I'm just like, what morning? Okay.
I know.
But New Suffolk Beach is nice and quiet, and you get some locals there too, like who live in the area, but they're just so quiet. They're just, it's pretty amazing.
Did Tilly just throw up?
No, she just threw my coffee all over the clean dishes.
Oh,
I heard like a splatter. That's all I heard.
Yep.
Sorry. That's a bummer.
Live TV.
Welcome to the live show.
Yes.
On that note, are we drinking beer or wine? Are you a brewery or a vineyard person?
Okay, I'm allergic to beer,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't drink often, but when I do, I usually go to the vineyards because I feel like that's more of an experience. So it depends on the wine. I'll give you a run off really quick. If it's sparkling rosé, I'm RGNY. If it's a red, I'm in love with the Cab Franc from Peconic Bay. We got to taste it it was so good. And then if I have friends in town that are very rosé forward, we go to Coteau.
Yeah.
I love it. So specific. Just like
it has to be.
Occasion.
What do you want? Let's go.
So as we wrap up our conversation, Mary, tell us in 1 or 2 sentences why you love being a part of the North Fork community.
I love the community-driven atmosphere. And I also love the dirt and the farmers and the proximity to good food because, again, one of the things I teach is to eat real food. And I feel like it's really hard for me to be here and put my foot in my mouth when I've got like a farm down the road, you know? Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm so grateful to be somewhere where a wonderful food is grown and it's, you know, biking distance. That's one of the most important things to me. And the community. And the Lions Club. I mean, don't they do amazing things? I love the Lions Club.
So thank you for joining us, and thank you so much for the important reminder. 5 minutes and just calm down. For those of you who find out more about the breathwork classes, follow Mary Tonic on Instagram, right? It's mary.tonic. Is that?
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you guys soon one Thursday.
Yeah. Next Thursday at 7 p.m. if anybody wants to make it.
So good. Thanks, Mary.
All right,
thank you
you
so much for joining us, Mary.
So good to see you. Thank you.
Bye.